Then we have the schedule management plan, which is the output. And as we have already discussed, this is one of the major components of the project management plan. And it establishes the criteria and the activities for developing, monitoring, and controlling the schedule. This is not the detailed plan, but this establishes the rules, the guidelines for doing all the subsequent work. Schedule management plan may be formal or informal, meaning what? Depending upon the complexity and the size of your project, it could be very detailed, it could be very sketchy, it could be very formal, it could be very informal. Maybe in a very, very small project, which could be done in 2 days, you may have an informal schedule management plan, which is only in the back of your mind. Or maybe you have drawn it on a whiteboard, and that's it. No more schedule management plan is required. So whatever the detailed requirement is there, you will accordingly work on your project. But naturally, as I said, better it is to write it down and in as much detail as it is possible. Naturally, I cannot write a 500-page document for a 2-day project. This is not justified. So it may be very informal, it may be broadly framed or whatever. And on the other hand, a detailed project could be highly detailed, it could be very formal, and depending upon the needs of your project. And it includes appropriate control thresholds. This should establish the schedule model, how the schedule model will be developed. And I have already discussed with you establishing the scheduling methodology, the tools, project specific data, putting them all together into a schedule model, and then creating the instances and ultimately getting it baseline. This all is the process of schedule model development. How that can be done, this would be earmarked there. Release and iteration length if it is an agile project. Level of accuracy, how accurate you need to go for this project. What are the units of measure you're measuring in seconds, minutes, or days, or hours, or weeks, whatever, depending upon the project. Organizational procedural links, whatever activities you are doing, how are they linked to your WBS? There must be a numbering scheme in WBS which you are referring to. Project schedule model maintenance, how this model is to be maintained. You have developed this model, but once there is a change request and that is approved, how this change is to be inducted into the schedule, and how it is to be unfrozen and then frozen again, baseline, rebaselining, how it will all be done. What are the control thresholds, rules of performance measurement, and reporting formats? This all has to be established in schedule management plan. As far as the schedule model development is concerned, as I just discussed with you, scheduling methodology and the scheduling tool to be used in the development of the project schedule model are to be specified with enough reason. Release and iteration planning when using an adaptive life cycle, the time box period, how much it will be. I have been giving you an example of 4 weeks. It could be 4 weeks, it could be 2 weeks, it could be 6 weeks, depending upon the type of project you are doing. Maybe these, whatever we are saying, 2, 4, or 6 weeks, these are more appropriate for the software development. But maybe for construction, nobody has tried it. Maybe the time box for a construction project may be 3 months. So whatever you decide, this is tailoring you can do. Time box periods are durations during which the team works steadily toward completion of a goal. Time boxing helps to minimize scope creep. Now this is very interesting because for uncertain situations, if you are doing time boxing, your scope will not creep. Everything will be in control because you are designing only for 4 weeks, and out of these 4 weeks, nothing is skipping. But if you have planned for the whole year, then there might be some small little things happening. Scope may creep, as it forces the teams to process essential features first, then other features when time permits. So on-demand scheduling and all those concepts will keep you focused, keep you dedicated. Level of accuracy specifies the acceptable range used in determining realistic activity duration estimate and may include an amount for contingency. Units of measure, how are you measuring it in staff hours, staff days, weeks, whatever. Organizational procedure links, as I said, the numbering system you use in your work breakdown structure, the reference to that is your organizational procedure links. Schedule model maintenance, process used to update the status and record progress of the project in the schedule model during the execution of the project is defined. Control thresholds, how much slippage of time is allowed, maybe in positive or negative sense. Maybe your unit of measure is a day. You are measuring your activities in days. Then how much delay is okay with you? You say this is no problem. Is 5-minute delay okay with you? Is 10-minute delay okay with you? In 1 hour delay okay with you? So when it becomes painful for you, you say, oh, 1 hour delay is too much for me. Then probably 1 hour delay means that you are delayed by 1 day. You can consider that we have exceeded a day, and more than 1 hour means that we have entered into the next day, and therefore we are 1 day late. So what constitutes the delay of another day? 1 hour, 5 minutes, or maybe in some cases it could be 4 hours, because the working hours are 8 hours per day, and you may say that my project is not that sensitive, and up to 4 hours I can bear the delay. If anything is more than 4 hours delayed, that means it is 1 day delayed. I hope you understand this point. So variance threshold for monitoring schedule performance may be specified to indicate an agreed upon amount of variation to be allowed before some action needs to be taken. If an activity is more than 4 hours delayed, then I will take action like moving the change request or something. Thresholds are typically expressed as percentage deviations from the parameters established in the baseline. Rules of performance, well, that depends upon what method you are using. If you are using earned value, which is a preferred method, then earned value management rules are other physical measurement method could be there. They have to be established. Generally, we know and we understand that earned value is a much better system, but most of the organizations are not using it. They are using some other method of measurement, maybe percentage or something like that. For example, schedule management plan may specify rules for establishing percent complete. How do you say that this work is 100% complete? How much should be done to constitute 100% complete? EVM techniques. If you are moving earned value technique, then what are your baselines? What are your formulas? How do you compute the percentage complete, etc., and how it is to be employed? If you are doing the schedule performance measurement through schedule variance or schedule performance index used to assess the magnitude of variation to the original schedule baseline. So whatever method for performance measurement you are using, it must be prescribed there, it must be defined there, and in what formats you want the reports to be generated, and what frequencies should be there for those reports, or weekly or monthly or whatever. But as far as the control threshold is concerned, I have again flashed the slide in front of you. Control threshold is the variance threshold for monitoring schedule performance may be specified to indicate an agreed upon amount of variation to be allowed before some action needs to be taken. Like, when could you say that we are now delayed? Okay, let's talk in terms of money. If you have got, you have a salary of 100,000 rupees, what constitutes nothing for you? If you lose 1 paisa, will you be concerned? Or when you lose 5 rupees, will you be concerned? Or when you lose 10 rupees, or you lose 100 rupees, what is the level of threshold of your concern? Because as soon as you lose, say your threshold is 5,000 rupees, anything less than 5,000 rupees does not matter to you. That means you can give away this money to someone. You are not really bothered about 5,000, any amount up to 5,000. But as soon as you lose 5,000 rupees, you are concerned, because that is giving you a kick in the back. This is your threshold. Similarly, for time, you have to reach to a meeting, and how much, 6 p.m. is the time to reach there. How much can you delay? If you are delayed by few seconds, will it be okay? If you are delayed by a minute, will it be okay? If you are delayed by 5 minutes, will it be okay? If you are delayed by an hour, will it be okay? So it all depends for this specific situation. So your control threshold may be according to that situation. Maybe, in marriage ceremonies, you see everybody is coming late, and normally the marriage ceremonies start after 2 to 3 hours later. So it is all right for me to reach there at least 1 hour late, because nobody comes earlier than that. So maybe if I am 1 hour late, that means I am the first person to be there. But in another appointment where I have to reach, maybe I am the chief guest in a ceremony, I can't keep them waiting because everybody is waiting for me. Probably I should be in time. How much in time? Maybe I can fix that not more than 5 minutes late, or maybe even 5 minutes is too much in certain circumstances. It could be not more than a few seconds late, right? So you establish the control threshold after which the definition of late starts. So if an activity is late, how do you define late? How much late will constitute an action? So thresholds are typically expressed as percentage deviation. How much, how much percentage are you deviated, as if it can, some other action should be taken. If chief guest is not there for more than 15 minutes, will they be arranging for an alternate chief guest and continue with their proceedings? That is the decision. So 15 minutes is the threshold. I hope I clarified this. So thank you very much and take care, please.